be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the new. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew.
Welcome to Sister Talks Led by God, a podcast where we talk truth, transparency, and transformation with the occasional sip of tea. I'm Brandie.
And I'm Teaa.
And today we are talking relationship fatigue. Yes, relationship fatigue. It is a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. And I think here as of late, I have been experiencing it in some degree or another. I think that it is healthy and fair to say that every kind of relationship does have its times where in its moments where it can be exhausting. And I have been experiencing that lately.
Okay, let's talk about it, sis.
Let's talk about it, sis.
How do you feel like you experienced it as of late?
So I've been feeling bad because as a friend.
Okay, so let's describe relationship fatigue for the people.
Okay,
first.
So for me,
so we're all on the same page.
Yeah. So for me, when I say relationship fatigue, I just mean tired.
Yeah. Girl, you get on my nerves.
Tired of all the things. You know what I'm like? All the things. Especially, I think that when you're the kind of person who tries to be a good friend, you will experience relationship fatigue. If you're the kind of person who you just, you know, you're not a great friend, right? You're not there for people. You're not like, you know, 9 times out of 10, one of your friends is experiencing relationship fatigue because they have to be the person for you.
They have to overexert themselves.
Yeah, to be your friend. And that is a horrible place to be in because I like to think I'm a good friend. There are areas where I can improve on, but also because I have so many things going on in my life, I give what I can give to those relationships.
Yes.
And when I feel like what I'm giving to those relationships just either isn't enough or isn't appreciated to me.
Yes.
You know, I don't feel like it's appreciated.
Yes.
I just be wanting to be like, I'm done. I ain't got nothing else for you.
Yeah.
So
my cutoff game is so strong.
Is it? Mine is not.
Yes. If I feel as though there is no reciprocity in the relationship, I will cut you out. If I feel like I'm always the one reaching out, if I'm always the one extending myself, if I'm always the one checking in to see how you're doing, but then I don't know, you're making like I find out that you have other friends that you are in fact reaching out to and checking in on them, right? And it's not but I'm not receiving the same energy, right, as a friend, and we call ourselves friends, then it's just like, oh, maybe you're my friend and I'm just not your friend.
Well,
and that's okay.
It's just okay.
It is okay. I'm saying so it's okay for it to be that, unless we call each other friends, right? If we call each other friends, then I think that we should absolutely operate as such. Now, do I understand that there are levels to friendship? Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that too, because I think that, and where I'm coming from in this conversation is that
your core.
We have an understanding of what the relationship is,
There's
right? There's no ambiguity. So we friends, we know, we're assuming in this conversation that there is an understanding. I'm your friend, you're my friend.
Okay.
We call each other friends, right? In some cases that could be best friend, even sister, sibling relationships, right? All relationships, honestly, because I'm not just talking fatigue. I said relationship fatigue, not friendship fatigue, but like relationship fatigue in every aspect, right? Because you can get exhausted from all of the things. And so, like, we're assuming, like, there's a mutual understanding of what the relationship is, right? But
even in that, if if you're not holding up your end of that, I'm going to feel some type of way, and I'm probably going to cut you off.
And I think it's fair to say, though, that there needs to be an understanding of what the expectation is. There needs to be some kind of basis.
How I friend and how you friend may not look the same.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how do you have those conversations? Because I try to be very intentional. The way you're absolutely right about that, because the way I friend and the way other people friend may not be the same. Because other people really value like showing up and all of that. Where if I can't always show up, if you need anything, you can reach out to me and I got you.
You make it clear, right?
Like
I'm that same friend.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know if you need anything.
Or if there's anything I can do.
Yeah.
Hey, you need this, or even if it means like, hey, I'm praying for you, let me know if you need something.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes people don't take that literally, but for me, if you're my friend, if I say that, I mean that.
Yeah.
So, but I think people think that people just say that just as a blanket statement. They don't actually mean it. Mm-hmm. But if I'm your friend and I'm telling you that, then I absolutely 100% mean it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say something like that. Like, there's certain things that I would tell you as my sister or say to you as my sister that I would not tell an associate.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, sis, if you need me to come over and, I don't know, wash the clothes or, pick up the kids. I'm not going to say that to an associate, probably. Right. Hey, if you need me to order you dinner, I would say that to an associate. Mm-hmm. Hey, sis, if you need me to come over and order dinner and make sure the kids are fed. Yeah. Right? Make sure they have their school clothes out, something like that. That's something I would say to you. I wouldn't say to an associate. I would probably just offer to order dinner for them. Yeah. As opposed to, it's more
as opposed to making sure it gets eaten.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree. Levels. Absolutely, levels.
Certainly levels.
But also to that point, like, I am that friend. Like, if you need something, call me. It sucks though, especially when I feel like the only time you call me is when you need something. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because I also need to be checked in. I try to. So I'm in the last maybe year, like 2 years or so. I've tried to be very intentional about, if a friend crosses my mind or if a family member crosses my mind, texting and being like,
hey, just thinking
about you. I love you, or whatever. Because first, we never know the day, the time, the hour. And I would hate to be like, oh, dang, I was just thinking about so-and-so, and then here's something happened to so-and-so. And then, I didn't reach out when I could.
And there are times where that
happens.
Yes.
Absolutely. I experienced, like, I had, this literally just happened. And I want to say this may have been what made me be like, oh, let me rethink everything. Yeah. I had someone, I wouldn't say like friend, but close associate, like I had known for years, that, we had a type of relationship, right? Like, we went to church together. We've known each other for years. Family, Joe was really close with him. So, but he, experienced moments, right? And something happened and he had reached out, and I want to say, like, I was just like, ooh, not right now, or something, because I was in the middle of something. I don't know. But I didn't go back to I didn't revisit. I didn't double back or whatever.
Follow up.
And literally, he died. Something, nobody was expecting. I think it was like a seizure or something. It was no act of violence. It wasn't like he was calling me because he was trying to in trouble or anything like that. Like, I didn't feel guilty about not answering when he called, but I did feel a way because I could have talked to him for one last time and didn't get to. And so for me, that was just an eye-opening experience that, like, hey, no, we are not promised anything. Well, the one thing that is sure is death, right? We all got to leave this place, right? And so that caused me to be way more intentional. If somebody crosses my mind or if I'm thinking about them, I try to make it a point to reach out and say so. But it would be nice to have.
I was gonna say, yep. And in fact, Teaa and I had this conversation. I was telling her,
just shout out to Teaa.
Yeah,
we love you. We miss you,
sister. Basically, how I wish I had a friend
like you,
like me. Yeah. I wish I had a friend that listened like I listened, that shows up how I show up. Just really all together. Like, I know that it's not going to be like exact, right? I'm me, and whomever is whomever. Right? So it's not going to be like perfect, but it's just like, I wish I had the friend that showed up.
What is that? So you said that. What does that look like, sis? Let's talk about that. Like,
I think you described it perfectly. Like, you're the friend that reaches out. I'm the friend that reaches out. I'm the friend that sees the post on Facebook, and if it don't sound right, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's I don't like that word.
Like
that look,
something ain't
the
right.
way you said that, like the way that sentence structure is set up, something ain't right with that. And then I'll reach out, right? Or I may see, I don't know, maybe you lost someone close to you in your family and you posted it. You may not have, you know what I'm saying? Because some people use Facebook as like a mass text messaging system, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's just like, well, surely she saw it because she's my friend on Facebook.
But also,
or
vice
people versa.
Use Facebook to cry out.
Absolutely, for help. So I think that just kind of showing up in that way, really. Yeah. So that's. And I think I touched on it, like, always being the one reaching out.
Yeah.
And others rarely ever. I'm just like, now hold up. Are we really friends for real?
I know. Are we really?
Yeah. I know we call each other friends.
No, let's reevaluate. Because sometimes we don't feel like it. And that's horrible. That does not feel good.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't feel good. And so sometimes, like, and it's me, because I've been experiencing that lately, where I'm just like, I want to be all the things, right? I want to be the person that shows up. I want to be the friend that reaches out. I want to be the friend that you can call on if you need financial help or whatever. I want to be all those things, and I try to be all of those things when I can be, but I'm also a wife, and I'm also a mother, and I'm also a sister, and an auntie, and a daughter. All of those relationships require a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
And certain pieces of me.
A lot, yeah. Certain pieces of me and a lot of me. And so it's just like, some of those I can't put down. I can't put down motherhood. Like, my kids depend on me for everything. Like, I can't put that down. Thank God for my in-laws and my dad. I get moments. My husband and I get moments because of the support that we have through them. But ultimately, shout out to the strong. My village is strong. Do you hear me? I don't know where we would be without them. So shout out to them. But, like, I can't take that hat completely off.
Right.
And so,
and it should not be expected of you too.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it is, or do you feel like that's something that you put on yourself?
No. I don't think that that's expected of me. What I just be tired. And I just be wanting to be like, I want to be done with everything. Like, I just don't. And I'm not saying that to sound please don't be alarmed when I say this, because I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not like suicidal or anything like that. But there are days when I'm just like, I don't want to do any of this, any of it.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it's okay expressing that. I'm in a different place now, I will say. I have taken a step back to really find, like, what's the word I'm looking for? A different meaning of me in terms of relationships.
Explain that?
Like, I'm no longer showing up as the old type, right?
You're redefining the way you show up.
Yes.
Okay. So to manage expectations.
And I'm becoming more and more okay with not being the friend that always reaches, right? Because I used to, I don't know if I felt like it was something that, like, I was obligated to do for whatever reason. Because it's the way that I friend, right? And I almost felt bad. I'm just like, okay, like, am I I know I'm a good friend, but it's kind of like
guilty.
Yeah. Guilty for always being the one showing up, and it's just like, well, that don't make sense. I'm genuinely trying to be a good friend, but then when it's not reciprocated, I'm just like,
Ooh, shout out to Teaa because I think this is gonna be a Teaa thing. Does that go to posture though? Like the feeling of guilt and feeling like you got to go out of your way to be that friend. And I'm just talking it out, and because I feel like I have the same thing. Is that do we do that
to ourselves? You mean?
Well, yes, we do that to ourselves. But do we do that for the sake of saying I'm the friend that always shows up?
I wouldn't.
I feel I'm gonna be honest and transparent and saying maybe subconsciously that yes, I'm the person who always shows up. Not again for the sake of it, but just in the back of my mind, like I want to be the friend they can count on. I want to be the person that they know that they can count on. I liken it to
I see what you mean by that. For me, it's more so. Say there's a group of friends, right? There's a group of 3 friends,
you
right?
Cute.
Thank you. You too. Thank you. So there's a group of 3 friends, right? Oh, let's take me, you, and Teaa for instance.
Okay.
Me, you, and Teaa, right? We all have different levels of responsibilities that we have to tend to, right? Be it daily, weekly, month, what have you. Me as the single friend, to whereas I feel like you may not be able to show up because you have other responsibilities that I may not have. I feel a duty to almost show up like more
as a representative. Because you can.
Because I can.
I get that.
Because I'm able to pick up the slack. So that's why I say I feel like I'm not doing it for. I see what you mean, like subconsciously, like what you're saying subconsciously. I totally agree with that perspective. But I'm saying, like, I feel like as the single individual, and because I'm not a mother yet, and because I'm not a wife yet, I can show up in the friend group in more ways that you can offer to because of that. So that's what I mean by that.
I would agree with that. And I would say, too,
but sometimes I overextend myself, though, too.
That. I was going to say, on the flip side of that, I've had to, it is what it is, come to the grips with the fact that because of all those things, I can't show up all the time. And as the friend who is connected to the friend who thinks that way, I appreciate that you do that, but I can't expect that you do that.
Right. Absolutely.
If I can or cannot show up, that's on me. And whomever else in the friend group should understand the dynamic of the whole friend group, right? There's grace. There should be grace there. There should be understanding there. But it would 100% be unfair of me to think, well, Tay gonna show up because she's single. She
absolutely. It would be unfair.
Like, absolutely. What? But I think that people get to that place.
They do get to that place.
And it's just like, no, I'm not showing up.
And I think also there are times to where I've been guilty of not showing up because I've been guilted for not showing up.
Guilty like comments not showing up because I've been guilted for not showing up. Right. Meaning, so like I didn't come to one thing, and so when I found
the one thing that I've made it to every I've made it to every single event. I made it to every single function, but the moment that I miss a function, it's Armageddon.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I've sometimes I feel guilty about this, but there are some things that just kind of just have had to take the. For instance, my circle is my world is very small.
Same.
My world is very, very small, and I'm not trying to be no kind of way, but it's my family. Meaning, like, my husband, my kids, my parents, including my in-law. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents. At the core of who that's all I need. I can function quite well with just that.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. And then I can add the pieces on the outside. So what that looks like is, and I've turned into this. I cannot show up at all the functions, the family functions outside of my little circle, core family. Do I feel bad about that sometimes? Yes.
Yes.
Because I want to be able to show up. Sometimes it's just too much. Do I want to see that part of my family? Absolutely. Do I miss being a part of that part of my family sometimes? Absolutely. But I also am okay with it being how it is because of my kid. Like that's all. Literally, that's all I need. Mm-hmm. Need. Yes. Want is different. Very much. But so. Need. That's all I need. Yes. And
it's almost scary sometimes for me how much I'm okay with it.
No, really.
No, seriously.
In real life.
I'm just like, okay, something wrong with me because
is it something wrong?
The amount of okay that I am.
The amount is not can't be okay.
Alone.
The amount of okay that I am can't be okay.
Despite me wanting reciprocity in my relationships, right? That's you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Two things can be true at the same time. So despite me wanting reciprocity in all of my relationships, like and me even feeling a way at times that I don't receive that, I am perfectly okay, as you said, with it being how it is. However, there needs to be a boundary and an expectation set. That doesn't negate the fact that there needs to be boundaries established, right? Mm-hmm. There needs to be expectations and standards set within each relationship. Mm-hmm. Because our relationships are not created equal.
They're not. You're right.
Our relationships are not created
equal.
And
too, part of that thing is like I be having guilt and feeling bad for not showing up to things, but also no one texted me and asked me like why I didn't show up.
Yeah. That.
I mean, so did it matter that I wasn't there? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when I show up to a function, it's where you been, blah blah blah. But when I'm absent from a function, it's not, hey, you all right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm literally the person
so I know
I'm just thinking about you. I love you. Right. Happy Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't show up to a function, I'm happy birthday or whatever. And I don't get that back.
Me neither.
And it's like, okay, well listen. You know what I'm saying?
And it's exhausting. It is exhausting, but then it's almost just like I think people could potentially say like, okay, well, if you're a genuine friend, then it shouldn't matter, right? Why are we keeping score? Why are we keeping track?
That's not. It's not that.
It's not keeping track.
It's not.
It's just what it is.
Right.
It's just the fact of the matter.
It's the fact
of
the matter.
And that's just that on that.
It's that on that. And if you hit dog a holler. If you feel away.
Yeah.
Like I'm not expecting something of you that I'm not willing to give.
Exactly.
As a friend. You know what I'm saying? As a friend, as a family, as a sister, as a auntie, as a whatever. Exactly. Like I'm not expecting anything of you that I'm not willing to give of myself when I can.
I would also say you can't fault people also for what they don't know though. So it could be that maybe they don't realize.
Yeah.
Because you have to think. I think that we realize because of we have core friendships, like our relationships are so tight, right? They're so close knit, they're small, and they're intimate, and so we're able to notice these things because of that. So whereas if we did have more of a, I guess, a broad range of relationships and friendships rather. Then maybe we wouldn't notice it as much because we would have more friends that
you can spread out the
because you had like I said
I have so
if I only have 5 friends
I'm gonna
recognize
yes
but if I have 10 or 15 even I wouldn't because you got what between the 10 and 15 if only 8 of the 15 show up that leaves 7 friends that's actually showing up for you.
Yeah.
So it's just like you wouldn't really notice for real.
Yeah.
You would notice, but it wouldn't be as.
That's also why I struggle with saying never mind.
No, say it. This is sister talk, child.
I know, but like
talk about it.
When you have like a multiple of friends, and I can see you showing up for someone else.
Yeah. Oh God.
In a way that you don't, at the very least, show up for me.
Mm-hmm. That's hurtful.
That's hurtful.
I'm just gonna say what it is. Like that's hurtful. And it's okay for it to be hurtful. It's okay for us to communicate and talk about it and express how we feel about those things. That's genuine.
Part of me goes real. The immature part of me wants to be super petty.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, if you reach out to reach out to that person since that's not my character, but the hurt, the little girl in me,
yes,
who is feeling away, hurt feelings, wants to say that.
Yeah.
Well, that's your best friend, ain't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it can't be you're loving me, like you're quiet about our friendship,
loving me in private, or
but then you're loving your other friends
out loud.
Yeah. That can make anyone feel a type of
That's
way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's and we're talking relationships in general, right?
All across the board.
Right,
Yeah. We're talking about friendship right now, but it
though we've touched on
applies
friendship,
to all
right,
relationship types.
That's no different than you shouting out your father, like you on his birthday, on Father's Day, any accomplishment, you always shout out your dad, right? Publicly. But when your mom
is still living,
your mom is still living, and y'all have good relationships, right? The relationships are balanced, but you're always shouting your dad out. But you have a balanced relationship with your mother as well. You know what I mean? Like there's no competition. You love them the same.
But in my mind, why would you always shout him out and not if the relationship is truly the same?
Yeah, that's the question of the hour.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You wouldn't.
You shouldn't.
If it was the same,
there are some people that would.
You wouldn't. If it was if we're being honest, if we are being truthful and honest with ourselves in the reality of the situation, there's no way
why you're not.
There's a reason why you're not shouting her out. So all things considered, it is not the same in some degree. There's something at the underneath or something that is keeping
that's
you
going unaddressed.
Correct.
Yep.
I don't care what nobody's saying. If you lying, you a lie. You a lie. There's no way that all things equal. You feel equally about your parents. You love them both the same. The relationships are in a great place, the same good place for both of them. But you're going out of your way to shout your daddy out for every holiday, and you completely ignore your mom. There's no way.
Yeah.
And
I think
no
that could be that could spill over into friendships.
Absolutely.
And relationships.
All relationships.
Yeah.
All relationships. And now I will say this. I have first of all, I'm barely on social media at this point. I don't know if people have realized that or not.
I have realized that.
We fast from it the first 7 days of every month, and I just don't.
We're going into month 7, y'all.
Yeah,
no, month 6.
Month 6, and I just don't need it. I don't like what I thought that I need. I just don't. I find myself not even checking it.
Yeah.
So I say that to say
I use it to pass time. Really.
I don't even do that no more. Like if baby, I'm on YouTube.
I'm proud of you, sis, because I used to really be like, you used to be on the social
and
media scroll like really heavy.
I'm just not.
So
now I might pop on over to TikTok. Because I like the TikTok shop. I like the TikTok.
Oh, you like TikTok?
Yeah,
I like TikTok shop.
Yeah, I like the TikTok shop, and but I barely be on that. Like I just don't be on there like that.
I'm not really on there as much as I used to.
I just don't find value in it like that. I said that to say too, like birthday posts.
Yeah.
She don't really do that no more.
I don't either.
First of all, I got too many kids. And I don't want nobody being like, well, mom didn't shout me out or whatever. Like the littlest ones don't even see it.
Right.
The biggest ones, I don't have time for them to be like, mama, you didn't. Because they would. And I don't have time. Yeah. Ain't nobody getting a shout out. I'm living my anniversary, or I may hop on there and say something about my husband or for his birthday or whatever, but I might not too. And if I don't read into that. I just don't. I'm not on there. I don't care like that. We out here living our real life, in real life, celebrating our anniversaries, our birthdays. Yeah, like I don't. We know what it is.
Yeah. Real life versus facade life.
Correct.
Yep.
And people have in this world of social media have this perception or this thought that if it's not on social media, it didn't happen.
And it did.
It absolutely happened. And just because it's on social media doesn't mean that it did happen.
Exactly. People know how to make it look
that's a clip.
Yeah, people they know how to make it look away.
Right. And it's not always what it looks like.
Absolutely.
So, but people will be low-key mad.
And I think some people, I don't know. So we may have someone that is watching or may watch this. I don't know. After this airs or 5 years from now, and say, oh well, why? A lot of people say pocket watching. Well, why are you watching what they post on? You know what I'm saying? Why are you post watching? Or it's not even that. Like, I think people may like it could be said that. Why are you clocking what they posting all the time? How would you know?
Because people do.
No, I'm not.
I'm not, but people do.
Some people do.
People who need to get something to do.
Yeah. But I'm saying
we running businesses over here. That's
right.
the thing too. We too busy. I'm let me speak for me, honey. I'm too busy. I got too much going on. That's really at the end of the day, that's really what it is. I have way too much going on to be concerned. Like I'm
I say that to say is people, it could be said that how do you know that they're posting about this friend all the time? You literally on my timeline, that's how I know. Right?
Oh, see, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm over it. But there was a time where I was, and that was, and I would be like, oh, really? All right. But child, yeah, baby, please be all that on social media.
This
we know who you
I know
call in
who
real
show up
life.
for me in real. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Too. I think it says more so about the person than us, though.
Also, I want to say this too before I forget, because you know how my mind is, how our mind is. Part of me, and I don't want to say like buying friendships or relationships or whatever the case may be, but that's almost what
I've been guilty of it.
What makes me feel like
I realize now.
Yes. So like
I've been guilty of it, and not even like you say subconsciously.
Yeah, like I put on this good, like tough, like girl, I'm not doing that, but if you know me,
you're gonna do it every time.
I'm gonna do it every time
for the person, for the people you love.
Correct. Yeah. I'm gonna do it every time, and the people that know me and that I love know that about me, right? That said, I a lot of times do things I really probably don't want to do, or I find myself in situations that I wouldn't normally be in if I would have just said no. I say yes to things that I want to say no to, but I say yes to all the time. I know these things about myself though, so we're
we're recovering yes girls.
Like yes, seriously, part of me, and it's true because I feel like I've experienced this recently, am afraid to say no. Because when I say no, I'm going to lose this person. Yes. I could potentially lose this person, this relationship, this friendship. Which, if I do, was it a what so kind of at yes? This point, because what kind of relationship? At this point,
so be it.
What kind of relationship was that? Was that if I said that we're no longer in relationship simply because I said no,
right?
Because the reality is,
what did the relationship mean to you if a no equates to us no longer having the relationship?
Correct.
What did it mean to you?
Right. Correct.
Because it meant enough to me to think
that I
could
yes
tell you no.
Oh, well.
And it'd be okay, or vice versa.
Yeah.
The fact that I would always have to say yes in order to keep you as my friend.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or to keep whatever tie, relate, like to keep some sort of connection. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm so guilty of that in a number of relationships. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, if I say no. You know what? I've even said yes when I couldn't say it. Like when I wasn't in a position to say it. I've put myself in compromising, not compromising to that degree, but like somebody asking me to borrow money that I don't have to let them borrow, but I let them borrow it because I don't want to say no. For a couple of reasons. If you got kids, if you got my niece or nephew over there, if you got my god kids, if you got my grandkids or whatever, it's gonna always be yes. I'm gonna go out of my way to try to make sure
enabling you, and that's
correct.
Not okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I will say so. I have a transparent moment early on.
It's really not early on. We've been talking a long time, but that's all right.
So a moment of transparency. The way how I've arrived to this place now of being able to say no more. And if you know me, this will probably be a shock for a lot of people. I practice on my parents. shocking, right?
Mm-mm.
It's not shocking.
I was just waiting for the moment when it would come.
What do you mean?
Because I knew it was inevitable. Because you
Elaborate.
always would say yes. Like, oh, my parent, I'm gone.
Okay.
And that you can't keep that up forever. There are gonna be some times where you're gonna have to say no, and it's not because I just don't want to show up for you. It's I just can't always show up.
Yeah. So
Even if you're my parent.
for me, it's more so in order for me to be able to tell, like, if I can muster up the strength and the courage to tell the people that I came from, that I love the most, that I love in the entire world, most, would give my last as they have given me their last, right? If I can muster up the courage and the strength, I'm speaking to the recovering yes girl in me. I can only speak for me, right? If I can muster up the strength and the courage to tell my parents no, to practice telling them no, and to practice establishing boundaries with my parents, and if you know me and you know how much my parents mean to me. So if I can practice that with them, then who could you
for you?
Yeah, who could you possibly think that you are in my life? Right, that you wouldn't get a no. And so that's why I'm becoming more and more. And when I tell you,
I don't know if I've ever told my dad no.
It is
I ever will, but
so.
But also, he doesn't ask. I mean,
I was gonna say I would probably have to agree with that. I've never told my dad no either. But me and my mom, we do. I don't know.
That's different.
It's more of a boundary thing. Yeah,
that's different.
With my mom.
Yeah.
So I say parents, but yeah, I've never told my dad no either.
Also, here's the thing.
I say parents.
I
it's challenging. For me, it's extremely challenging, and I feel guilty every time. But I tell myself, listen, if you are ever going to get to a better place, if you are ever going to be able to evolve past this, past always and constantly saying yes, you have to stand firm in the no. And if I can do that with my parents, I think that it's inevitable for everyone else after that. It's just like, girl, what? No.
It's a quick no.
It's a
easy
and
no.
not
and
and to not feel bad.
I'm not thinking about it after I say
no.
Yeah, I'm not there, but I desire to be there.
That's my moment of transparency.
I desire to be there. My moment of transparency is that I desire to be there. I've said I've been ran over, taken advantage of more times than I care to actually admit, and that's in business, that's in friendships, relationships, all of the sorts. And I hate it. And the people around me who love me, who hear about it, hate it. They can see it. And here's the thing about me. I'm not oblivious to it. There are people who don't see it, who experience that and who are taken advantage of that don't know that about themselves. They don't know that someone is doing that or taking. I'm aware. So please, let me be very clear. Let me say this right here, and so that people can see and understand. If you think that you're getting over, you're not. You're not. I'm very well aware. And in my yes, when I say yes, I know what to expect from people.
Absolutely.
I'm never surprised. Mm-hmm. I know what to expect. So please know and understand, it's the love that I have for you. You're not getting over. Right. Ever. Because I ain't no fool. Mm-hmm. Contrary to whatever, I ain't no fool. Like, I know what you're doing. I love you just that much, though. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I have to get to a point.
Love covers.
Yeah, right. But I have to get to a point where because the Bible also says to love your neighbors as you love yourselves. And so if I have to get to a place where I love myself enough to say no to you. Because it's becoming abusive to me. Yeah. At some point to say yes when I know full well what to expect from you when I say yes.
It is, yep.
Also, knowing that if I say yes to you, I can't count on you to say yes to me.
Definitely cannot.
Like, I
think it was Pastor Coleman who said, he preached a sermon on this before about, is it if you can't count on them, don't count them? Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. Yeah. And to this day, it sticks with me.
That was like years
Although
ago.
it's been years ago, probably over 10 years ago,
I was
right?
gonna say that's been like.
And the fact that it took me 10 years, like it stuck with me, right, for the 10 years. I'm just now really implementing that and establishing that in my relationship.
I mean, so here's the thing.
By the way, I wasn't laughing at you a while ago whenever you were talking. Like, I had a moment, like, the love your neighbor as yourself. Me and Mom was talking the other day, and I reminded her of that scripture. And she was like, they don't live by me.
That's not my neighbor.
I feel
you know what? Jesus.
She didn't mean it, but when she said it, I said, oh my God. I said, I have to use that one time.
They don't live by me. No, for real.
But for real,
they don't live by me. But no, like, yeah, that's, yeah. So here's the thing. My husband and I have had this conversation. Okay. Let me be very clear too about this. I am not the type of person to ask for anything. I say that's like, I don't ask people for stuff, right? Like, I ain't asking nobody to borrow no, like, I don't do that.
Yeah, that's the last thing I'm asking.
I don't do that. It's not happening.
I'll ask to borrow a hat. Before I ask for some money.
Yeah. I'm just not the kind of person to do that. And I don't know if it was just the way that I was.
It was definitely the way that I was raised. But I think there's a trigger and a trauma. That's a trigger and a trauma response for me, though, that I probably need to work on. Because I was always the one that had and was able to give. And so people were always asking me and I was able to provide. And I don't think that because it's never been offered as an option to me in any of my relationships.
So that's what I was about to say.
Like, I'm in fear of, I'm fearful of
asking
because I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah, but if I can muster
and it's the pride and the ego with me always having it, I don't have it.
There's something about that though. Like, if I muster up sitting my pride and my ego to the side to a place to ask you, and then you say no.
You say no.
Or absolutely, like, but I'm saying all that to say, like, I have 2 that I know for sure, friends.
We've talked about this, yeah.
2 that I know for sure, and they know who they are.
Yes.
1 I would never ask because of reasons, and this probably isn't fair to the other. But it goes back to what you said, like, you're single, you don't have children, you know, and that plays a part in my processing, my thinking. Although I don't think people consider that I got 3 kids, a mortgage, 2 car payments, and all that when they ask for things.
They don't, and you want to know why they don't? Because you've always
said yes. Well, anyway, I'm saying just the way my mind works, I have 2.
Same with me though.
I have 2 people that I could count on. 1 I would never ask, and the other I could ask, and I know that they would have and do, but I would never ask. Because that's just me, and you could call it pride or whatever. You say what you want to say, but here's the thing: I have positioned myself. If I need money, if I need to borrow,
there are avenues.
I have resources and legal ones. Yes. Because I am cognizant. I have positioned myself in such a way that I don't have to ask people for those things. A person. I can, because first of all, that could potentially mess up a relationship and all that. Although I'm very responsible, I would never not pay somebody back or whatever. But anything could happen. Anything could happen. I've had it happen. To me, not because I just said I don't ask nobody for nothing, but I've had it happen where I've given and it wasn't given back, and I put myself in a very hard situation to give.
Yeah,
right. Like, I didn't have it to give. I just said I got.
I'm also beyond that. If I don't have it, I don't have it.
I'm getting to that place. Okay. I am getting to that place. If I don't have it, I just don't have it. And you can think about me what you want to think about me, but at the end of the day, the truth is, I shouldn't have to be in a position to say I have or don't have. If I say no, I just say no for whatever the reason.
And I think for me, it was fear, like you said, fear of losing the person if I told them no. Which that speaks to both myself and
what insecurity is it in me that is allowing for myself to be in a relationship with a person who clearly is not reciprocating what I'm giving to them, if I think that me saying no to their request is going to end our friendship? And why would I allow myself to be in a relationship with somebody like that? I'm admitting to myself that I'm allowing myself to be used
and abused.
And why is that? And let's get to the, as Teaa would say, root of that.
Yeah. Yep. Precisely.
Let's get to the root of it. Yeah. Me, I'm talking to myself.
I'm talking to myself as well.
Why am I letting people do that to me? I'm worth so much more than that.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'm a better friend than that. I'm a good person.
Have the evident proof.
Yeah. That's why you keep coming back.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it got to the point for me to where if someone asked to borrow money and I didn't have it, I was trying to figure out a way I'm either borrowing. Yep. I'm borrowing like third party borrowing. Like,
I'm going to
somebody else to a bank or a person that like a resource of my own to appease you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I'm not doing that because I just said I don't ask people for stuff. But yeah.
I'm like, hey, Ma, you got $100 I can borrow? Not for me.
Yeah,
but it's based upon my word to this person. So I'm in a relationship, and I have rapport with, and I'm connected to. These are my loved ones. These are my resources.
Yeah,
and I care enough about you to not want you to go without whatever it is that I feel like you need, to extend myself to my direct resources, so that you wouldn't be without.
And I want to be very, very clear too, though. So, my father is not a part of this conversation, right? Like, I know that I could ask him for anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know that he would break his back to try to get it for me. Because of that, I would never ask. Because number one, my father is a widower.
Yes.
He is elderly, and he is on a fixed income. I would never ask him for anything. Because I know he will give it to me. Right. And I know he will put himself in an awkward position to do so. So I would never. I'm about to cry just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I would never do that. But I wanted to say that to say, like, he's not a part. When I say the two people, this is outside of that.
Right. Outside of your core
my
people.
Husband,
you mean
my dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You mean outside of your core family. Correct. That you were talking about.
Also, my in-laws.
Yes.
Are amazing. And I thank God that I have, because I know a lot of people, baby, I don't have this problem, hate their in-laws.
I know a lot of people as well.
They have such tumultuous relationships, and baby, I cannot relate. I love my mother-in-law and I love my father-in-law. My in-laws, period. Like my sisters and brother-in-law, like my family, period. They're amazing.
Across the board, yeah.
They are amazing. And I probably could reach out to any one of them if I needed to. It's not happening, but I'm sure that I probably could. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law are my dad and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law are my village. That's
I can attest to that village.
Yeah, that's our village. And because of that, they already do so much
that you would never.
I would never. I just would never, and that's just me as a person. Yeah. I'm not knocking people because everybody doesn't have those principles, doesn't have those values. I just can't.
Yeah, I've gotten to a point though. I would.
I'm thirsty, but my water is way in there somewhere. I think. Jesus.
I would as a last resort, right?
Because as a last resort.
That's what my village is for, right? However, the type of person that I am, and you have said yourself to be as well, is the complete opposite of what we've both experienced in our friendships.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because though I know I can go to my mom, though I know I can go to my dad, though I know that I can go to these certain people, I would only go as a last resort. Yeah, however, the way... Go ahead.
Your friends come to you as like a first resort?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. First and last.
First and last.
Yeah.
The only.
The only.
It feels like. I don't know this.
Right.
But it feels like.
conversations.
Because I'm just like, and let me say why I feel like, let me say why I say, and this might be unfair. So we can talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
This may be unfair because the reason I feel like that is because of how I am.
Yes.
I'm not asking nobody for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If the only people that I would, if they were able, is my parents.
Yes.
So if I'm asking,
and for you, your parents would know it will be like they will be last
right.
resort. Yes.
And also my parents would do it because they know I'm gonna pay them back. Oop, that might be pause. Because that may be the reason that people aren't reaching out to other people is because they have burned bridges. I don't know.
I don't either. It ain't never been that for me.
I don't know, so. But what I'm saying is my logic. The reason I concluded to what I have is because in my mind, I would have exhausted all of my resources before I ask.
Your individual resources.
Yeah, like that's my last resort is a friend.
Yeah.
Like if I ever call Jason and ask him to borrow some money, I need him to know, and I think he will because I've never and I would never.
But we've had this conversation though.
Yeah, but
with the friend who I would never. We've had this conversation because they've had experiences with other friends, so where they've let them borrow money and they did not pay them back.
That's crazy.
And so it opened up the door
to me. That speaks to your character as a person.
Yes, absolutely.
What kind of person are you?
But they didn't pay them back in time. Like, it was a whole debacle, argument.
But here's the thing.
You're mad at me. You're mad at me because I'm mad at you that you didn't pay my money back when you said you was going to pay it back. You should not
here's the thing.
Provided a deadline.
But here's the thing about that.
Yeah, I don't.
It's all what I feel like, what I feel and know to be fact because I've experienced this. I feel like too. It's communication.
Absolutely.
It's a breakdown in communication because obviously I care enough about you to lend you the money.
Absolutely.
If you can't pay it back when you said you were going to pay it back, that's a conversation.
Yes.
Where it becomes a problem is when we don't have the conversation. You're avoiding me and not paying me back.
And if I don't know you're avoiding me. If we talk every day.
You want to fight?
If we talk every day and I let you. People say they don't want to go to their parents or their family members because they're going to get a lecture. Well, some of y'all need lecture.
You need a lecture.
You need a lecture.
You need a lecture.
And the only reason why you're coming to me is because I'm not going to give you a lecture.
And if I start giving you
a lecture, you're not going to come to me.
Call me Professor Wheat then, because the school is in session. Pick somebody else to do it because we're starting to have conversations now.
Every single
we having conversations.
We are.
What do we also, matter of fact, we're gonna have an episode about faith and finances.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Matter of fact, I think that should be the next episode.
Well, amen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll see ya.
No, but we need to talk priorities.
Oh, for sure.
Because also, if you have to borrow money to pay, let's say, your water bill or your electric bill,
or whatever the case,
whatever the case, but also you have a fresh set,
or you have
a fresh bundles, or you got a new car. Your priorities are out of order. You need not have nails.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Because that's cool. When I go to, I don't know. But when I go to the nail shop once a month, I only go once a month. Which for some people, because some people go every 2 weeks. I know people who go every 2 weeks.
I don't make it.
Oh, I'm faithful to mine. I make my appointment for the next one at the last
you
one.
And Mo, y'all are
baby,
faithful.
she's not missing an appointment.
She's
However,
been faithful since age 12.
Yeah,
she's never missed a beat since then.
Yeah. However, I go once a month. That's $115 when I go. It is. And when and I'm basic with man. You see, it's a solid color. And a solid, like,
no design.
It's no designs or nothing. Y'all out here getting ombres and rhinestones and stilettos and 30-inch long nail. Like, I know that's a cool 130.
150, 135.
Yeah. When the audacity of y'all to get y'all's nails done and not get your feet done. What kind of priorities are those? But anyway, There's some out here doing it though. But I'm saying that all to say, we go back to the point, the original point. You maybe should pay your phone bill and skip the nails this time.
For sure.
You could get acetone for $5 at Walmart to remove them.
You definitely.
And just go like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
Press-ons have come a long way.
There was a time. Speaking of priorities,
Fingernails and toenails, you can look like you've been to the shop even if you ain't been.
And
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about
because
going back to
how I am with nails. Like I'm gonna have my toes done, but my nails, man, I don't depend on what's going on. I may not have like these are always gonna be done, and so if I'm in between weeks of these getting done and these somehow have to come off, right? And so now I'm off schedule, I'm off kilter or whatever. So I'm popping these off.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll just go. I'm not gonna have chip polish.
Pause.
It's just gonna be clear.
Thank you. We're not walking around with one nail off, one.
Yeah,
we don't do that.
They're all coming off.
Yeah, they're all coming off. Go get you some acetone.
And if you see me with one, it's because
it just happened.
It either it just happened, or it's done cracked in a way that I can't get it out. But I'm gonna try my hardest. You know, it got to heal a little bit before it come off, so I won't injure myself,
baby.
Right? But
that'll be the only reason.
No, there was a time. I may or may not have talked about this. Did I talk about the time where okay? So there was a time to where
tell me because
I was in a relationship and my boyfriend at the time asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I told him I wanted an LV bag. I wanted a Louis Vuitton bag, and the bag was $1,200. Right? Did I?
Go ahead. Okay. I feel like I've heard this, but go ahead.
And at the time, I think I was on an air mattress. I was sleeping on an air mattress. Oh. Now, I wasn't sleeping on an air mattress because I didn't have a bed. Something ended up happening with my bed, and so I ended up needing to get a new bed. In between time, right? So had a bed, went from having a bed to now being on an air mattress to now my birthday is here. Well, no, it happened. Maybe I.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you tell your story.
Yeah. Had a bed. Asked me what I wanted for my birthday. $1,200 Louis bag, right? So I'm happy with my bag. So now I gotta get an air mattress, right? He didn't really. Yeah. I knew he was gonna give me the money for the bag. He was either gonna get the bag or give me the money for the bag, right? He ended up giving me the money for the bag. Now I could have went and got that bag, but by that time.
I need this air mattress.
I'm on an air mattress. By the time my birthday get there, I'm either you're gonna get this bag for $1,200, or you're gonna go get you a bed. And I went to go get that bed. Well, now, what would I have looked like though?
Walking around with a Louis Vuitton.
Walking around with an LV bag.
Some of y'all doing it.
On that air mattress.
You looking crazy. You look crazy.
Now, come on now, y'all. We have to do better.
We do better. That was very wise.
I would have looked a fool.
That was wise of you.
Yeah, I would have to, you know.
That was prioritized.
Depending on where I was in life, though, it could have very well, probably not, but I'm just saying, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, I was young and I was dumb. That could have very well been a young and dumb moment. But nah. I was like, oh, I said, now this don't.
Yeah, and then what you could have done was you could have went and got you could no you don't because you could have went and got a bed and then got you a Michael Kors bag or something like a Coach.
I still end up getting the bag, but
because you would have just got you a mattress had you said you needed a bed if you told him you needed one probably.
Yeah, he would. Well, he knew. You know,
he was sleeping on the air mattress with you. That's wild. What? Because he should have cussed at you when you asked for a Louis Vuitton bag.
No, you're not following the sequence of events.
I'm sorry. You lost me and he knew.
No, he eventually found out that I was on the, but I was just like, I was just kept it 100 with him. Because what would he even think about me if I would have still went and got that bag? You know what I mean?
Looking at you sideways.
You know what I mean? Now, knowing him how I knew him, I guess I would say, I don't think that he would have gone anywhere. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, you gotta make sure you have your priorities in order. 'Cause, yeah.
Long story short, prioritize.
Yeah, He probably would have looked at me away.
Go get you some press-ons.
Yeah.
And pay that phone bill.
Yeah.
But
like I said, I eventually
press-ons are $7.97.
Yeah. And I also had money left over from getting the mattress.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's why I said you could have went and got you a Michael Kors bag.
And then I can't remember if I saved up the extra money to get the bag or if somebody else got me the bag. I don't remember, but I got the bag, child. It's the, eventually. That may have been a faith and finance question. I mean,
we'll circle back.
But that's okay. We will. But nonetheless.
So all that to say that relationship fatigue is real.
For sure.
I am experiencing it, have experienced it, will continue to experience it because that's what happens when you pour yourself into these relationships. The important thing is to make sure. Go ahead. I think the important thing to make sure that you do is that you manage and you keep, track of it, that it doesn't get to a place where you're don't blow up on nobody. Don't give up.
Or don't cut anybody off without having a conversation.
No, definitely not. Like I definitely think it's worth having a conversation. For sure. I'm not the kind of person to just cut you off and be. If in fact I feel like I hang on to relationships far longer than I should. If anything,
I've been guilty of that, and when I say cut off, I don't necessarily mean completely. I think that it could
set a boundary.
Yeah. I may take a step back from the relationship.
Yeah.
Right. I may not talk to you for a period of the time to allow myself to process whatever feelings I have in the moment towards you, so that I will not cut you off completely. That's good. But like you said, some of these people need to be cut off.
Some of them need to be cut off completely. Yeah. And just reevaluate like their priorities. Why? Do you think that it's that they don't even realize that they're doing it, or do you think they know full well that they're doing it?
I think both. Because when you take, I think because when you, it's like how you said, don't think that you're getting over on me, when you know full well that they're getting over on you, and they know that they're taking advantage of you. But a part of you're allowing it, but so are they. They can stop, but then you could also stop it. So both, you could stop it and you're not stopping it. They could just be a better person, right? Practice better character, and just being a better overall friend.
But I mean, do you really? I know I can call B. She gonna have it every time. I'm not even pass and go. I'm not calling my mama. I'm not calling my brother. I'm gonna call B because she got it all the time. Or do you think it's truly I've called all those people, but I know B got me
every single time? No, because we talked about rejection, right? I'm bypassing all of these rejections, these perceived rejections, right? Because we don't know that it's going to be no all the time. Because
you're not going to ask because you're expecting it to be no, and so you just ain't going to ask because you don't want her to know.
Right. But if they always hit their yes with B, they're going to be every single time.
Truth, transparent, transformation. I'm a pushover. People take advantage of me all the time. That's the truth. Y'all have seen that in almost every episode at this point. Don't be out here thinking you taking advantage, though. I'm aware. And no new friends. So, only the old friends get to take advantage of me.
No, they don't. You just contradicted yourself. No, they don't.
We just said I'm not changed. Like, hello. I do intend to transform.
There you go. Okay. That's good.
No, I do. Yeah. I do. I'm tired of being tired. Also. There's that. I think that the fatigue really sets in when you feel like it's for naught. I think that makes it worse. Like, you're going to be tired when you're giving of yourself. But I feel like it feels even more exhausting when you're giving of yourself and it's not appreciated, or you don't feel like it's benefiting.
It's almost like you overextended yourself to make it to their event, right? Yeah. Only for you to get there.
And they didn't even say hi.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It is. It's unfortunate.
I also
There's work to be done on both
ends.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you're allowing yourself to be done like that, and then there's something fundamentally wrong with you that you continue to do people like that.
For sure.
Like, hello.
For sure. So I would say properly navigating and making the necessary adjustments to evolve, right? As a better friend, as a better person, and for
person,
you want to
I think
be
person
in life,
first and foremost, because then it's almost like what we say, what they say when you come to Christ, right? You give him your heart and everything else follows.
Yes.
If you just make it a point to be a better person, you're automatically going to be a better wife, a friend, a sister, a mother, an auntie. Everything else falls into place after that. But you have to want to work on being a better person first.
Yes. I agree.
But there also has to be that desire first, which means you have to acknowledge that there is a problem and an issue first.
For sure.
Hello, somebody.
That's the thing. Most people probably don't think that. Most people think that it's not an issue.
Well, because they take for granted,
or it's not their issue.
Because there are people like me who don't say anything, and so because I don't say anything, you think I don't notice or that I don't realize. Right. Yeah.
And you set them up to
fail.
Even once you, because
absolutely.
even once you get the gumption and the nerve to start telling them no, then they'll just go
to somebody else. That's right. That's right. You're right. Yeah. You're right. You're right. It is what it is. But yeah, the thing about it is, most people out here see you. They just are not gonna say anything. I am most people. But more of the stories, don't be out here taking people's kindness for weakness.
I'm no longer most people.
And also, people see you, they feel that, they understand it's hurtful.
It is very hurtful.
And some people like me just allow you to continue the behavior, not necessarily because of anything other than the fact that they love you.
Yep. And don't want to lose you.
Mm-hmm. So.
And I think that should say a lot about them as your friend, to not want you to have to go without.
Also,
and so I think
it should say a lot about you as their
keep
friend.
Them around if they address the issue, right? Because a lot of times we address issues in relationships, which is a fatigue of its own, really. And you lose that person, or once you address the issue, the relationship takes a turn, or there's a shift. When it always doesn't have to be.
No, because a true relationship, we should be able to have these conversations. We should be able to say these things to one another, hold each other accountable,
for sure,
without it being a big thing and ruining a relationship.
Without loving you any less. In fact, I love you more for coming to me and letting me know what your standard and your expectation was
this way.
Yeah,
because you care about me. You want me to be better. No, if we're having the conversation,
yes,
it's because you want me to be better, right? We're wanting to better each other. Not having the conversation
is not wanting to better each other.
Yeah, or me wanting fear
to
fear of losing. And also, what does that say about the relationship and you as a person? If I think that just because I'm saying no, we're not going to be, like, there's something that is making a person feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, silence is crazy. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also processing at the same time. Anyway, shout out to our sister Teaa.
No, period.
We miss you, girl.
Hey, boo.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Is it? I was going. I can see it. What did it say? I couldn't see it.
2314. 12314.
No, this has been a good conversation. I think that we could, like I said, child, go on and on.
Go on and on and on.
So what would you say the best way for those who are experiencing relationship fatigue to make the necessary. And I know
You asking me something, I'm right in the middle of it. I don't know.
Okay,
Girl.
what? Okay, so what steps do you feel like you? Besides
Saying
like,
no.
Okay. I think the problem is.
What's the problem, sis? Tell me, girl.
A lot of times it's hard for us. I'm learning this, right? Because I'm in the middle of it too. I'm in the thick of it too. I feel like, I'm ticklish. I'm in the thick of it too. Is when you don't set your own personal standard and expectation just of your own personally, how you're going to handle general situations, right? In general circumstances. If there are no standards, boundaries, and expectations set for you as a person, it's going to be hard for you to set them for other people and in other relationships. So if you don't already establish a form of boundary saying no, right? It's easy for you to tell your kids no, right? But if it's hard for you because they're your kids, if you don't set a boundary with what you tell yourself no about, then it's going to be hard for you to tell anybody else no, right? Are there things that you tell that you tell yourself no about? Like, I don't know. I'm going to the store and I'm only buying.
Be for real.
No, I'm just using it as an example.
Don't use that example. Use something else. Denying myself is crazy. I don't do that.
Which speaks
It's the reason we ain't had financing.
That's what I'm saying. Which potentially speaks to why it may be hard for you to tell other people no, because you don't tell yourself no about it.
Here's the thing about that. It's like a revolving door, because there was a time that I did tell myself no. Mm-hmm. And then at this big age, I've come of the mind that if I
for what?
Tell myself no for what?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like,
but there has to be a level of
because there has always been like there are still things that I have not. Here's the thing. I buy myself whatever I want.
Same.
And I do that because there have been times where I have allowed for people to get things for me. Like, I could buy myself, like, listen, there have been times where I could get myself something and I've chosen not to allow someone else to get it for me to be special. And I'm still waiting on things today. Right? I
can't relate.
Right?
I can't.
So, So, like, I'm just going to get it myself. Mm-hmm. Because I can.
Because you can, yeah.
I work hard so that I can.
Yes.
So no, tell myself no for what? Also,
and I would do that and still be disciplined.
Yeah, we work on the discipline part.
I'm just generally speaking. I'm working.
If it's to call me out.
I'm working on that same. No, I'm working on. No, I am working.
What? I can't believe
I am working on that same discipline. Now, are you the hit dog that's hollering now?
Also, I am a realist. I'm not in denial. That's what I need the people to know.
No, that's good. They don't know nothing else. That's a good transparent and transformative moment.
If people don't know nothing else, no, I know my stuff.
Yeah.
I am not in denial. She knows, okay? Yeah, you ain't never going to get to say, well, she didn't know. Yeah, she knew.
Yeah.
It's going to always be there. I'm not in denial.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. I will be transparent and say this, though. I know that the Lord has my millions held up because of that.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great segue into faith and finances. I'm not. I'm being for real. Like, no tea, no shade.
It's the truth. Because why would I trust? I can't give you more until I know that you.
We've had this conversation many times before.
And I'm not oblivious to that either. I know that.
Yeah.
That's the fool. When you know that and you're going to play the fool and still be me. I'm talking about.
You're going to continue to do?
You're going to continue to be a fool. You're going to continue to be a fool knowing full well that what you really, it's on the other side of you being obedient. Ooh, that's a word. Pastor said that. Your blessing is on the other side of your obedience. And you look a fool sitting here on this podcast talking about, I know that my millions are held up because I don't display discipline. I don't exercise discipline. Girl, you sound fool. But it's the truth.
Save my thoughts for faith and finance.
It's the truth, though.
It is the truth.
Truth, transparency. Now we about to transform.
We are definitely about to transform.
It's about to change because.
But in terms of relationship fatigue.
Oh, bring us back, sis.
No.
Refocus us. Rerouting.
In terms of relationship fatigue, I am certainly in a better place.
Do you hear my stomach?
I do not. I heard something.
That was my stomach.
Okay, there we go.
That's crazy.
That was her stomach, y'all.
Go ahead.
In terms of relationship fatigue,
baby.
I don't think that it will.
Work every penny.
It's already worked every penny. I feel like, but yeah.
Focus. Okay.
In terms of relationship fatigue, I am in a much better place in terms of I'm able to relate to the fatigue and the exhaustion. However, I am, because I'm learning how to say no, and I'm establishing boundaries and standards and expectations for myself, it is so much easier for me to do that with other people now. I feel like for a long time in certain areas of my life, I did not have that. And because I didn't have that, that's what made it so hard for me to tell everybody no, because I didn't have any standards for myself in those areas.
That's good.
You know, like financially,
I'll take that.
I can say, you always tell them yes because you always tell yourself yes financially. You don't have no financial discipline yourself to tell you no. So, of course, you're going to always tell them yes in terms of finances. Yes, they can always borrow money.
No,
okay.
That was not tongues. That was it. Kind of was.
Okay.
But, like, that's another thing, too. That you cannot be influenced by your friend. Like, how I'm living and how you living are two different
for sure
things, right? Like we have to be mindful.
And it's okay. It's never a competition.
No.
Right.
And we're in
never
different places in life.
We are, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think sometimes that can be the problem, right? Trying to keep up with the expectations that you've set by what you show up as for people, and you trying to keep up with that, and you maybe not getting your nails done or not getting your hair done may look away, and people might think like, oh, she done fell off or whatever, because you're trying to keep up with some people who are in just a different place in life than you are. I can go to a place, you know what I'm saying? Like, I work hard. I have a certain, I don't want this to sound away, but I have a career.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what my life looks like at this big age and what I'm doing right now is going to look different from a
30-year-old.
Correct. And
or
that's okay, because it should
take age limitations off of it, right? Just where you are in your life.
Yes. Yeah, like I'm married. You know what I'm like, just
and
different.
That's not to say all married people. You know, there may be some marriage couples out there, or people that are married out there that their finances look different.
Yeah,
they may not be where y'all are now.
Absolutely.
Or even y'all.
We might not be where they are. Like, because we got a long way to go. But I'm simply saying that to say, like, your
that doesn't take away from how far you all have come.
Yeah, and you're borrowing money or something to keep up an appearance that you won't be able, for what?
You'll forever be trying to keep up.
Correct. Because
get your priorities in order.
Get your priorities in order.
You won't have to keep up.
You're trying to maintain something that is unreal.
Something that's not yours. It's not
right now, anyway. And not to say that, and that's not to say that you can't have it.
Right.
That's just not where you are right now.
Put it on your vision board.
Your prayer board.
Something that you can work towards.
Yeah. And it's okay to admire someone.
Absolutely.
It's okay to see the way I see. Listen, if what you see anyway.
It's not okay.
Let's be clear too, because everything that you have no idea what goes into the things that we see, and or if they even we could see somebody's car and it ain't their car. It's a rental. So let's be very mindful of that.
Or
Everything that you
borrowed.
see, everything that you see is not what you see. Hello,
Or
somebody.
they just happen to step outside the hotel and the valet man just brings somebody a car.
And they took a picture in front of it. But I'm saying all that to say, still, it's okay to see people have things, nice things, and admire that, and say, one day,
now that
I can work towards everything that I want. I don't have to want what they have, but I can admire where they are.
Want what you want for you. Don't want it because someone else.
And I can work towards that.
Yes. Want what you want for you, not just because
you see
someone else has it, and you want to try to compete with them. I think that can be an added exhaustion. You know,
trying to keep up with baby.
There have been times where I've had friends, family members that tried to compete with me literally my whole entire life, like. And you will forever be trying to keep up. You know, because you're not gonna ever be able to catch up, right? Like that, you're coveting after something, right?
Because of the heart, not because when you said that, I wanted to say, and you could never.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's not, but it's so
exhausting. It becomes exhausting. Here's why it becomes exhausting for me. It becomes exhausting for me because I love you genuinely as my friend. But I'm starting not to like you because now I'm seeing that you are coveting after the things that I have, or either have because I've worked hard for them, or have because
I've been blessed.
I have people that love me and care for me and are always thinking about me, or just think of me, maybe not always, but think of me and give me things, and there's nothing I can do about that, right? I can't help that. You want me to tell them to stop? Because you don't have someone like that in your life? Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's not okay for you to think that. Mm-hmm. That's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? I love you for real. I want you to be around for real. But it's just like, if I feel like you're competing with me, like, that's hard. That's challenging to know someone that you love. That's exhausting.
That is exhausting, but also I want to point out that when I say you could never, it can come off as like I'm up here, you're never going to be where I am. That's not what I mean. When I say you're competing and you could never, it's because what God has for me is for me. Yes. There's nothing you can do. You can't wish it. You can't spell it. Like there's nothing that you can do that's going to get you where I am or what I have, because it has been ordained by God, period. And what's for you is for you. Yeah. So get in alignment with the Lord on what he has for you so that you can chase that thing. Right. Because that'll be, baby, instead of chasing what he got for me. Because like I said, you'll never. Yeah. You will never. You could never. I think that's a great place to end this episode. Yeah, relationship fatigue, and we're standing.
We're standing all over the building between me and me
while we're absent,
one from another.
This has been Sister Talk led by God.
Yeah,
and we'll see y'all next time. We love y'all. Bye.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is